Greetings everybody, my name's Pieta Valentine and I've written two books, one called The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and the other The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. Now, I've been asked to do these blogs by various readers and younger friends of mine to better explain about the practical and positive techniques that people can use to help people in a dementia unit. Now, these techniques are varied. There are many. There's lots to learn. Some are easier techniques than others to use. But today, the technique that we're going to work on is Granny getting to her room. Now, the character is called Granny that I'm going to be describing. She's 89 years old. She's been at the unit about 5 weeks now. And she's a bit disorientated, but she's getting the hang of it slowly. She has a granddaughter named Susan, who's 15 going on 16. Her birthday actually is in April, so she's an Aries, she's confident, she's strong, and she wants to help her granny because she has been living next door to her grandmother for, well, most of her life. So she knows her well. She wants to help, and she feels she's now read The Resident's Voice. She's read the whole book, and she's read all the epilogues, and she feels that now's the time that she can really get into it. So these are the two characters that are going to be playing out this little dialogue of getting to Granny's room. Now, getting to the room for a dementia resident is actually not as easy as it sounds. If you're able-bodied, if you're fit, you're strong, of course, getting third room on the right from the nurse's station, I mean, how difficult is that? But if you're an 89-year-old lady on a walker, getting from the nurse's station to the third room on the right, okay, anything can happen. Firstly, one of the big reasons for going to your room in the first place throughout the day is just generally because you're wanting to go to the toilet. So on the way there, even if it's only a short way up the corridor, anything can happen. Firstly, you can be assaulted. Unfortunately, that can happen. An aggressive resident may, well, if not physically attack you, verbally attack you. Secondly, you could just sort of lose the strength in your legs and you could feel like collapsing. Thirdly, the bunion on your foot may be giving you a bit of pain and you've got a verruca and it's difficult to walk even the 30 metres to the room. Or you might be getting dizzy, or you might have a dizzy turn, or any number of things. It's colossal, the amount of things, barriers you have to go through often to get to the room. So now that you're visiting, Susan, it's Susan, isn't it? Yes, Susan is visiting. Now that she's visiting, and the first blog we did was about the meeting and greeting, which is, the 3 techniques of bending down, looking in the eyes, connecting and saying her name. I'm Susan, Granny, it's great to see you. For this blog, getting to the room is a whole new scenario. Susan, this is only the second time she's been, but she's pretty smart. She's worked out the dynamics of the unit. She knows where Granny's room is, the whole thing. So she takes Granny to her room. Granny, I think Susan's been there about 10 minutes. Granny already wants to go to the toilet. It's the common theme. So Susan's taking her to her grandmother to the toilet. And see, that always takes about 10 minutes. I mean, that's why when you visit someone at the unit, really you need to give a good 45 minutes, because 10 minutes go to the toilet, come back, sit down, that's half an hour left or whatever. You're lucky if you've got time for a walk out of that. A good hour. If you really want to achieve something constructive, like you're really working on something with her, an activity, an hour is a really good length of time because they're slower. They take time to, formulate what they'd like to say, how they'd like to say it. If they've got any questions, it takes them ages to get it together to be able to express it, etc. Anyway, so you take Granny to her room, and getting to the room is one issue, recognising the room is another issue. You've taken her to a room, but does she recognise it? This is the thing. So there needs to be a whole framework of effort, I suppose, really, yes, for her to get to recognise her room. Now, the first thing that's needed is that at Granny's height, 5 foot, remember, at Granny's eye level, there needs to be a nice notice, clear and big enough that says room, like her room is 158 and her name is Margaret Smith, okay, or Marge, they call her Marge. So Margaret Smith or Marge Smith, room 158. That needs to be in a nice big black letters, clear, laminated, better still, and blue tacked to the door. As simple as that. So Marge, when she's going along, can see, oh, room 158, oh, Marge Smith, that's me. So she can recognise her room through that and go in. Now, in most dementia units, it's just white walls, white doors, cream, everything's just one big maze of the same looking thing. So sometimes some progressive units put slick door patterns on the doors, so each room has got a different colour plastic slick cover on the door, which they are actually fantastic. So that colour recognition, different design is one way of residents recognising, and some units do actually more recently have in bold the name and the room so the resident can read it well. If so, great, you don't have to do anything. But historically, even up till a couple of years ago, it was very much the photo board they used to have with the different photos of the resident's life put in it, like they're getting married or their cat or their favourite dog or whatever, which is fine for others, carers and nursing staff, etc., having some reason to engage with them and their life from those photos. But for the person themselves finding their room, it doesn't really help. It may help a little bit, but a lot of the time the photos are up high and they can't see them anyway, and the name and the number above that with an indented or outdented, whatever the word is, jutting out photo board, and so if they're short they can't see the name above it. So all of these things you need to think through, because this is just ergonomics really. Basically this is all about ergonomics, observing, identifying, empirical evidence, your experience, your observation. There's so much to learn in a dementia unit. And actually one of the best things you can do to learn about how to be in a dementia unit, how to help Granny, is to just sit in the dementia unit with Granny and observe. Full stop. Really, one learns an enormous amount through that. Just sit quietly, happily with Granny, just seeing what the activities are, who the different residents are, their personalities, the regular visitors, the staff, day staff, afternoon staff, getting to know their names, the routine of the unit, so many things. And all of that you can pick up if you just sit and absorb, listen and learn, and talk to Granny about it, Oh, Granny, that's the charge nurse, you can recognise her because the hair's like this and that's her name and blah, blah, and that's the doctor, and you can see he's the doctor because he's tall with a white coat or whatever he is, and there's the cleaners. And just talk to Granny so that she can get orientated to the unit too. Lunchtime, let's have a look at the menu. It's up on the board, 12 o'clock, what are you having? Chops and meat in the middle of the day. Anyway, that's what they actually eat most of the time. And dessert, you're having, desserts as well with cream and ice cream. Can you believe it? They eat a lot in dementia units and you have to be careful of the weight. But anyway, all of that is orientating. So getting to the room, have the numbers on the door, have the name on the door, make sure that, take her to and from her room. And the next blog I'll actually go into not just getting to the room, but orientating to the room, or working on direction orientation, which is actually a really big subject. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you're enjoying the book if you've read it. If not, that you're getting value from these blogs. And I'm always happy to hear your views. I'd love to hear your views. The author's video, www.pietavalentine.com. Put your comments there, any questions, and I can include them in these blogs.